Okay, this episode is titled Be a Clown. It came out on October 3rd, 1992. Directed by Frank Parr. Written by Ted Peterson and Steve Hayes. Featuring Kevin Conroy as Batman, Bruce Wayne, Bob Hastings as Commissioner Gordon, Lloyd Bochner as Mayor Hill, Jim Cummings as the Real Jekko, Marie Devon as Summer Gleason, Mark Hamill as the Joker and a character named Franklin, Justin Shencaro as Jordan Hill and another kid named Timmy Fire, and Tim Curry makes a uncredited appearance as the robot clown that laughs when Jordan bumps into it. And it's the laugh, it's his Joker laugh that he had for this animated series, which is really interesting. Some creds here for some of those people. Writer Ted Peterson also wrote Mutants Revenge, an episode of Spider-Man the Animated Series. So if you remember that episode, it was the second part of the X-Men crossover with Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. He also wrote episodes of Mummies Alive, Iron Man the Animated Series, X-Men the Animated Series, Street Fighter the Animated Series, which I didn't even know existed. Did you know there was a Street Fighter?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay. Captain Planet, Mighty Max, James Bond Jr., James Bond Jr., The Smurfs, Super Mario Brothers, G.I. Joe, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So this dude wrote for a lot of shows.
Childhood and creation.
Also, writer Steve Hayes, the other writer of this episode, wrote the story for the 1979 movie Time After Time, which, when it came out, was quite a popular film, as well as episodes of G.I. Joe, James Bond Jr., James Bond Jr., Captain Planet, Iron Man the Animated Series, Street Sharks.
Him, but Scum always tries.
Young
Check
Bond,
out his big juicy thighs.
I like your version. He also wrote Street Sharks episodes, which is one of our favorites, and Godzilla the Animated Series.
Man, Godzilla the Animated Series.
I know that movie spawned. So remember we had we bought toys for that movie.
We went to go see it. We loved it as kids. Little
we
raptor
did.
Godzillas. We thought it was great.
I watched that a few years ago, and it does not hold up.
I'm sure we had toys for that, and also toys for the Lost in Space movie with Joey from Friends, which we also liked as kids.
I really like that, and Gary Oldman's the bad guy, and he's like this creepy thing at the end. It's like
Gary Oldman's a bad guy and a creepy thing in the 90s. Wow, that's fresh.
Voice actor Jim Cummings is a legend and is featured in this episode very briefly as the Real Jekko the Clown. He's got endless credits.
I immediately recognized it was him.
Right? He's got endless credits on IMDb, but he's best known for being Darkwing Duck and the voice of Winnie the Pooh.
No, I do get him and Greg Berger mixed up a lot.
Oh, do you? Oh, interesting.
Both iconic voice actors.
Yes. Also, he's the Shocker in Spider-Man the Animated Series, Jim Cummings. And then we've got Lloyd Bochner, who voices Mayor Hill. He's also known for being in Naked Gun 2, Superboy, the live-action TV show, and a ton of films and TV shows that stretch all the way back from the 40s to the early 2000s. And sadly, he passed away in 2009, so he's no longer with us, but he had a huge body of work. Okay, and then finally, our little note for voice actors in this. Jordan Hill, the voice of Mayor's Kid, is voiced by Justin Shencaro, who's better known as Harold Berman, the bully from Hey Arnold. Do you remember the bully?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Who is this plump,
I specifically remember the episode where he wanted to go on a diet, so he ordered the diet ice cream from the ice cream van, but he ordered 2 of them, so therefore they equal the same amount of calories as a regular one.
That sounds like something I would do as a kid. As we both know, I don't think listeners know, there was a point where I was like, I gotta lose some weight, so I gotta stop eating fatty foods like chocolate and sweets, and I thought that meat was bad for me as well, but what I thought was going to be good for me was a whole French stick, a whole French bread loaf,
apricot jam
and butter. So I was just like, oh,
butter.
Yeah. I know. I was like eating it.
All right, diet starts today. Right, gotta get out my whole French stick. Look, a whole French stick for a 10-year-old? Are we talking here?
Yeah, 10 or 11. Yeah,
10-year-old, a whole French stick. How did he get this whole French stick? Where were the parents? How did they not know that this whole French stick is
That's the thing, right? I would eat the whole fucking thing, and I was actually like, nah, this diet thing ain't so bad. And then I didn't lose any weight. I did this for a week. I didn't lose any weight. And
how are you getting a French stick a day?
Well, because our mum kept on buying them, and then when I went
How
up,
was she not like, where the fuck are these French sticks going?
I think that she was just like, oh, the boys must have eaten it together. And, like half a French stick each, like still a lot, but like between two people. But one person, because I remember going to her and being like, Mum, I'm not losing any weight and I'm trying here and I'm like cutting out things. And I told her what I've been having and she's like, oh, darling, that's not good for you. And also, I was wondering where all the French sticks were going. Into my gut. It's funny. Yeah, I remember that specifically. Ridiculous.
I don't understand that she could just be like, where are my French sticks going? And not try and be like, maybe one of my really obese children is eating one of them. Like, come on.
Duh.
That's a bad parenting.
Of course it's the fatty McFatty downstairs.
Well, there are two fatties downstairs. And the fatter one may be eating it. The other one is plumping up and soon will surpass the fatter one. So it could be him. It's probably a tag team, I reckon.
It's like some sort of game show that she's
Which watching. Child will be the fattest?
Who do you think had the French stick?
Introducing Alex. He clogs his grandmother's toilet with his mega shits and eats a French stick every day.
Weighing in
on down, Alex.
Weighing in at 300 pounds and only 5 foot.
10 years old and 4'2". It's Alex Robson. And the runner-up, Will Robson. Skinny as a child, but now has moved to America and is plumping up extra large. He enjoys drinking 10 cans of regular full-fat Coke a day. That's a Domino's pizza every Friday to himself. It's 6-year-old Will Robson saying, I know I'm not as fat, but I'll be there soon. Thank you very much.
I can make it if I try.
You will be the fattest. Well, the competition is over and I have won. I am the fattest.
And you have been for many years.
Yeah. Did you remember that time when it did surpass, though, and I was the skinnier one? And you were like, fuck!
So pissed off. Yeah. But no, you have been the world heavyweight champion for quite some time.
I like that, actually. Yes, I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin.
All right, back to this episode. I got some fun facts from you. Breaking out my utility belt. We got the poster of the Great Prosciutto is spelt wrong. The U is in front of the I on the poster. So somebody fucked up. The picture of the Great Prosciutto is a caricature of comics writer and self-described magician Alan Moore. Yes,
that's funny.
So he wrote the acclaimed Batman Joker graphic novel The Killing Joke, which this episode took influence on with the abandoned amusement park.
Yeah, and also definitely took influence from The Dark Knight Returns with chucking like baby bombs on a roller coaster.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that too, which was interesting. So that's kind of cool that they kind of threw in a few odes to famous Batman Joker comics.
Would have been cool if this episode was any good, though.
Well, yeah.
I thought this was the worst episode we've seen so far.
I thought it was okay. I wouldn't say it's the best, or even like, yeah, maybe it is the worst. You're right, bud.
I'd rather watch the what are the younglings? The
Underdwellers?
Underdwellers over this, yeah.
Yeah, that was at the bottom of our list. I mean, we still enjoyed that episode, and yeah, I think it's got more merit than this one. So when Joker disguises himself as Jekko, the voice he uses is an imitation of the movie comedian Ed Wynn, best known for voicing the Mad Hatter in Walt Disney's Alice in Wonderland. The roller coaster sequence was adapted into the third stage of the Joker level in the Super Nintendo game The Adventures of Batman and Robin. So that sounds like a cool level to play. During the climactic roller coaster chase, the Joker's lapel flower originally squirted acid, making the scene much more dangerous. But business standards and practices said that was too threatening, and it was to be changed to the flower squirting gas instead.
I enjoyed the little fart sound effect that the flower made.
Me too. Yeah. Speaking of farts, director Frank Bois.
I thought you were about to fart. You're like, speaking of farts.
Director Frank Parr was having difficulties with the storyboarding with the crew, and when a freelancer quit, Bruce Timm storyboarded the entire second act himself. So that's interesting that he had to step in there. The chef and waiter from Pretty Poison and the large woman whose purse is stolen from the Underdwellers can all be seen in the crowd at the birthday party.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, and I read this before I saw it, so I was keeping my eye open. They are all there. It's pretty cool. The photographer at Jordan's party resembles the Golden Age Batman villain Ali Babel. Never heard of that one before.
Babel.
But he was an annoying photographer, though. Like, he wasn't taking pictures of the mayor. Mayor was like, "Did you get a good shot of us?" And he was clearly had his back to him. And then later, when Jordan like has a freak out with his dad, he's like proper filming it. Like, "Oh yeah, this is the good stuff." I'm like,
I'm gonna sell this shit to the Daily Bugle. Oops, wrong universe.
The trap Joker attempts to kill Batman with is the famous water torture trap, which Harry Houdini escaped from in approximately 2 minutes. And finally, this episode marks the first time in the DCAU where Batman is knocked out and finds himself trapped when he awakens. So let's talk about this episode. What did you think? Give me more details on why you didn't like it.
I found Joker kind of annoying in this episode.
Lots of puns, right? Like way too many puns.
Yeah, I enjoyed the first act of him going to a birthday party dressed as a clown, but I think the writers fucked up because the kid was into magic, and then suddenly he's like, "Yeah, I know magic as well." I'm like, "Oh, so you're a magic clown?"
Yeah.
And so then Joker's just like, "Yep, I know all these magic tricks as a clown." And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. There's no magic clowns.
No, I mean, maybe he's like killing time at the amusement park by himself, like learning how to do magic, but I don't think that was what Joker would be doing in his downtime.
I love Joker showing up to a children's birthday party dressed as a clown. That's frightening, and it's such a great idea. And the fact
it's a great idea.
And Bruce Wayne shuffling, knowing that he's trying to save the day, but he's still going to be Bruce. All of that is top quality stuff. But the moment that cake explodes, the episode's over to me, and the rest of it's pretty garbage. I think that the kid shouldn't have been interested in magic. Maybe he should have been interested more in being a clown, and his father's embarrassed by that. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would have been. I mean, imagine how dark you could have taken it with, corrupting Jordan's mind, like the mayor's son. And you imagine, like, if it like spun off
a little clown costume. I mean, he already looks like a little child Joker anyway, with his hair and his nose.
And what would you do if you're Batman in this situation? Because, like, you can't punch him in the face. He's a kid, right? Like, you can't, like, fight him. So that would be a really good idea for the Joker to do that. And I know down the line in Return of the Joker, the Batman Beyond movie, he turns Tim Drake into the Joker.
A willing child to be like, I hate my dad. I hate authority. I hate all of these people.
The mayor's son, too.
The mayor's son, like, I want to be a little deviant bastard.
Yeah.
And Joker's like, fuck it. All right.
Yeah,
like, you snuck into my thing. Like, how about your first task as being my ward is to kill the Batman?
Yep, I love that. I think that's a way better story, and I wish we got that instead. But to continue, the episode does have one of my favorite Joker layers of all time. I really do love the abandoned amusement park. I think it's really spooky. Like, I love how dark it is and how, like, rusty everything looks, and just like
outplayed, isn't it though?
Well, because of the Killing Joke. But I thought in this animated series, I thought it looked really good. Like, as a set piece, I was like, this is like all of the creepy clowns. And when John's like, at one point he's running around, and there's a really kind of cool shot of him running into the shadow of a Ferris wheel that looks like a spider's web. And I was like, oh, that's cool. He's caught in a web, and there's a predator coming after him. And I thought Joker was really creepy at one point when he's looking for Jordan, and he's just running the cane along the fence, and he's like, oh, Jordan, as he's looking for him. And it's in this spooky place. I liked it. Meh. What did you think of the music? Because I didn't really notice it at all.
Yeah, I didn't notice it at all. And that's very rare for this show.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what the theme was in this episode, and they always write a new theme for each episode. So
Did you notice that Joker has red lipstick on over his red lipstick? Like, it's like a different shade of lipstick.
Dude, when he took off his clown makeup and he's like, I'm the Joker, it was this big moment. I'm like, you look the exact same, buddy.
Yeah, he's already changed into his classic Joker outfit.
Yeah.
It's just it's literally like if Batman was standing in the Bat costume, but he had, like, I don't know, someone else's, like, an afro on his head or something like that. You'd be like, you're Batman. Like, I can see that you are Batman.
And Jordan's like, oh no, it's the Joker. I'm like, obviously. Right at the start of this episode, when Mayor Hill is addressing the press, we see a billboard that says Gotham Acres, and its slogan is a fun place to be. Like, do you think someone in the marketing forgot to come up with a slogan and just said, like, a fun place to be, whatever? And they were like, we love it.
Yeah.
Nothing could be worse for Mayor Hill than a car chase that's taking place after he's like Gotham safety and all of that stuff. Like, I thought that was just, I felt so bad for him.
He messed that one up, right? Like the literal worst situation ever. Where he's like, all right, I got to run my campaign. I got to make sure that I'm plugging. Gotham is a safe place to be. All right, Gotham is safe. Suddenly, car chase, gangsters, and a building crashes on him. Like, that is like the epitome of it not being safe.
Especially when Batman comes swinging in on a construction beam and like he slams into those thugs so hard. And imagine a giant metal beam swinging at you full speed with a person on it into your rib cage. They're dead.
He went full like Home Alone on them with that.
Yeah, he did. Very Spider-Man like pun as well, where he's like, garbage collection is on Monday, but in your case, I'm making an exception.
Batman was punning up a storm in this episode, and I hated it. He always had something to say. I'm like, Batman, shut up. Be the
he did. Yeah, seriously. He was very Spider-Man in this episode, right?
Yes, he was. He was always like, I have a retort. And it's like, shut up, Batman.
And the fact that Batman knows when the garbage collection happens in each district of Gotham, I think is such an unnecessary detail, but just so Batman, right?
Of course he does.
I know when garbage is collected. It's on a Monday in this district, but if you go over on 6th Street, it's on a Tuesday. Usually they arrive at 4 p.m., but recently they've been getting there a bit early. It's 3 p.m.
At Christmas time, I usually leave them a 6-pack of beer and a piece of chocolate just to let them know that I do appreciate the work that they do.
I don't go near them, though. They stink.
Except they went on strike this summer, and I had to keep my garbage in my garage, and I really hated them. This is actually a personal story by me, not Batman.
And also, it was weird that this attack took place during the day. Like, it was weird seeing Batman out in the daylight. It was like more like dusk, but still, it wasn't dark when that whole thing was happening, and it was weird to see that. The only thing I really like about the Joker in this episode is how petty he is. Like, when he casually sees someone on TV comparing him to Batman, and he just gets so angry that he like orchestrates an entire scheme to blow up this person's house, which is full of children, by the way, on that day. Like, that is some really menacing shit.
I also love that, like, you're a politician and you're like, it's perfectly safe in my mansion. Like, I'd be like, as a voter, I'd be like, fuck you, buddy. Like, oh, in your mansion, is it? No wonder the Joker. I was like, if I heard that the Joker tried to blow up his mansion, I'd be like, good, motherfucker. As a citizen of Gotham, I approve of this, you corrupt piece of shit.
Oh, it fell into the pool and blew up your swimming pool? I'm so sorry.
No.
Speaking of his mansion, did you notice Mayor Hill has his own butler?
No, I didn't.
There's a butler called Franklin who's like tying the signs, and he treats him like shit because he's just like, come along now, Franklin, the party's almost started. And he's like, yes, sir.
Oh, yes, I do remember.
Do you think Franklin knows Alfred? Do you think they have like meetups?
Yeah, there's probably like a butlers union in Gotham, right?
And Alfred, like, he just gives the game away immediately. Like, he's just like, I work for Batman. I mean, Bruce Wayne.
They're like, no, Pennyworth is the one that always is like doesn't go straight. They're like, come on, Pennyworth, you got to join us.
I'm living comfortably, thank you.
I've been very well paid for many years.
I just love that they both were British, but this guy's treated like shit. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's like Dobby and then Creature, you know what I mean, from Harry Potter. Like, one's got a nice deal and the other one's got a shit deal.
Who's Creature?
The one that lives in Sirius Black's house. That's his name.
Well, they both have a duff deal. Is Creature the one that's like chatting shit about people, and then they see him, he's like,
Yeah, and he's muttering,
fucking muggle.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Fucking little shits going around here with their fucking wands. I laughed at one kid who shows up at the birthday party and just hands over his presents, and he's like, "Happy birthday! Where's the food?"
Where is the French stick? Him on a diet. No cake for me.
Joker's clown, like the look of Jekko, looks a little like Pennywise, the Tim Curry Pennywise, I thought, which may be another ode.
That would have been interesting with Tim Curry doing it.
Yeah. What do you think Bruce got for Jordan for his birthday, by the way? Because that gift is gigantic. Like he comes in, he's like, "Oh, I can just about manage it." It's huge, and he also ends up chucking it in the swimming pool with the bomb. And I was like, "Oh, we're never gonna know what's in there." And then I was thinking, if he doesn't know kids, like, what is in that gift box? Like, if you don't know what kids want, he gets him like, I don't know, like a knife set. And the kid's like, "What the fuck am I gonna do with this?"
I got you a bunch of crime scene photos. There you go. These are my parents. They're both dead. This is the chalk that was used to draw their outlines. You could play tic-tac-toe on the sidewalk with it.
What do you think of Bruce's way of disposing of the bomb? I thought it was very Clark Kent.
I thought it was great. It was a clever idea to like you had to think so fast to be able to be like, I know that everyone's in danger, but I cannot, no pun intended, blow up my spot that I am like Batman. Because you could easily be like, oh, this big muscly dude just like is like, there's a bomb.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
To kick it off. Like, I just think it was clever of him to be able to get rid of the bomb in that way.
Imagine if Bruce was wrong about the cake though, and it wasn't a bomb, and like he just knocks it into the water and nothing happens. And so he like, I don't know, he goes home to Alfred, and Alfred's like, "So how was the birthday party, sir?" And Bruce is like,
threw the cake in the pool. That's actually quite a fun story for like an aging Batman, where Bruce Wayne thinks that like, oh no, people are in danger, but they're really not.
Yeah, I would just love Alfred be like, "Master Bruce, you did it again."
Another cake and another swimming.
Or even it's like other items. Like he's like, what was it this time? An umbrella? A potted plant? A coin that had a scratch on it?
It was the cake, Alfred.
How is that even related to one of your villains, sir?
I hate children that have parents. You know this. I'm jealous, Alfred.
Also, did you notice that Bullock is eating birthday cake when the police are at the mayor's house? And I was like, mate, that fell in the pool.
Yeah, quick shim and a quick snack.
When watching Batman escape the water tank, I really liked the line from Joker, "They don't make straitjackets like they used to. I should know." I like that.
I thought it was too on the nose and like, I don't know. I did not like the writing of this episode. I didn't like the way people spoke. I thought it was, you know what? It was the first time watching the animated series where I was like, this is a kid's cartoon.
That's true, actually. You know what? I had that same feeling. I was like, yeah, this does feel a bit childish. And the two writers of this is the only episode that they wrote for the series. So makes sense. Yeah, so loads of puns from the Joker whilst on the roller coaster. We've said like, really irritating because every line out of the Joker's mouth is a pun to do with the situation. And yeah, I think you were speaking on it earlier. There's no like dichotomy between the Joker and Batman in this episode where you can feel like the hatred and also like the love between them.
These guys are not arch rivals in this. They were in the when he was gassing up the city.
Yes.
And he nearly like that was like perfect, like 1-for-1 fighting. This was just like hey, Batman, you're around today? Cool. I kind of fell into shenanigans, so I guess I'll try and kill you. I don't know. The more I think about this episode, I think it sucks.
Yeah, no, fair dues. I didn't think it was great either. And I was looking forward to this episode and a rewatch, but yeah, it didn't live up to my expectations. So finally, more countless dollars in property damage done by Batman in this episode. The entire amusement park comes crashing down and explodes. And he's just like, another day saved.
All those kids can enjoy that time with their alive parents.
Jordan returns home to his dad, and Batman gives the thumbs up in the corner, which is now used as a meme constantly. You see that all the time. I've sent that to you loads of times before. And it is a really awkward bit of animation for this show as well.
I know the context of it now, and that makes me laugh that it was from this episode. I'd say that's the only redeeming quality of this episode is that it is the birth of the Batman thumbs up gif.
And that is the end of the episode. The one thing I will say though is the character Mayor Hill obviously continues on in this show, and there's lots of great episodes that he's involved in. But his character also in this universe is continued in Batman: The Adventure Continues, written by Paul Dini and Alan Burnett. It's a comic series that's out right now. They're on their third season, or whatever you call it, third collection. What do you call a
trade paperback?
Yeah, I guess so.
Volume?
Trade paper. Yeah, third volume. That's it. Thank you. They're on their third volume. What I really love about Mayor Hill's inclusion in these stories is he's murdered. He meets his untimely death in these stories, and it's due to his connection with the Court of Owls. And there's like a whole backstory with him and like being connected to the Court of Owls. And his son takes over as mayor of Gotham. So
he's like 15.
No, I think he has another son. It's not Jordan. But Jordan, you do see Jordan in this book, and it's interesting to see him, like a couple years on from when this episode happened. But it's a really good story. So if anyone wants to like see what happens to Mayor Hill and continue that, it is available in the Batman: The Adventure Continues. All right, bud, we've got our next episode that we're going to review is a good one.
Oh yeah,
Two-Face Part 1.
Ooh, now we're getting into some juice.
Yeah, we're getting into some real good stuff. So hopefully that lives up to our expectations, because I think it should.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.